The time has come for lions to tell I own story. Yes, you're listening to Lion's Voice. I is Dejazmatch hailing from the island of St. Croix. Yeah, I'm bringing to you Rastafari vibes. Can you feel it? Rastafari. Babylon born when Rasta come together. Can you feel it? Rastafari, because Babylon done when I and I come together. Look how we live together, look how we work together, Oh, Babylon done when Rasta come together. Hail I, Rastafari, His Majesty and Empressment and bless. Yeah man, hailing from St. Croix, Rastafari, I hear you.
Aye.
What do you have to tell the people about Ras Tafari?
Eye to the world. The King of Kings and the conquering line of the tribe of Judah. I left himself. Where's my ruler? Hey yo! Yeah. Hear them high, hear the Black King on the 23rd of July. So tell them guy who praise God up in the sky, it's a lie. The Almighty living on your night. From ancient time them a try. Them Romans know them just open them suit and ties. Criminals ain't got no alibi, they stole my people. Then them come without them genocide.
Are you talking about slavery?
Them couldn't kill. The lion will come conquer Judah tribe. Go to tribulation, I strive, see sufferation, I still rise. That's why we tell them, in America, live Rastafari in every ghetto area. We come to tell them, in Toronto, straight at East.
So you kind of observe, study, being around literature that helped us to recognize about the Kebra and the Gast and what was part of that teaching, what were some of the Nile Valley connections, what was the Sudanistic component, what was, you had to look at a whole lot of different things. And then, of course, you look at the Hebrew Israelite, African Hebrew Israelite, you kind of navigate, and then you try to see the more progressive Christianity, and then you go into a piece with Islam, and then you navigate to, people come with the Buddhist, the Bon, the Hinduism. It's like, you do like a overarching piece, being around Ifa, seeing that the Ifa tradition, not just the religion, but the system being more correctly the tradition.
This is a well-learned guest family. Well-learned. So, this is someone paid to teach the next generation of scholars. So I'm just here in awe. Continue, sir.
Well, no, this is important because I need for the listeners, the viewers, to know that it's coming from a place of humility, though. It's not coming from a place of... The PhD was really for my parents. The master's degrees were for my parents and family. And it's important, because it allows us to have certain tickets to do certain things. However, it's what I learned outside of the Eurocentric institutions. It's what I chose to travel and engage in, whether it's through initiation or through another layer of edification, not just education and training, but like edification and practice. I've lived in countries where they made me learn plumbing. They made me learn electrical things I could do with my hands. They had me involved in agriculture. They had me involved in understanding astronomy. That's why sometimes for me, I'm going to always go into a space, especially outside, to navigate what's going on above us, what's happening planetarily, not astrology so much, but like what's happening with the planetary bodies that influence air, fire, earth, water, and spirit around our spirit, ourselves, our body.
Everything is connected.
Everything, yeah.
So I took you off the track of why Rastafari,
Because that actually didn't take me off the track. We'll bring him. This is the same track. Remember, it's like a long track. It's a long track. It's a long track. Because part of that is because there's a grounding when we speak of, because I do dwell in a space as a Smaitawi priestess, and there's a element that comes with that, and because of that,
break down the
Smaitawi.
Smaitawi is a big thing.
I didn't know it was a big thing. I know it's small. But Smaitawi is that ancestral, ancient, African, Nubianu, Kushianu, Kemetu legacy. So I'm going to say that again. ancestral, ancient, African. When I say African, I'm speaking of the soul and the flesh of those that come with light, right? Not just they're African in terms of defining us through a geographical space that's only the 12 million square miles of the continent. But I'm speaking of the Africa that encompasses wherever we dwell, wherever we go.
Okay.
And when we speak of that ancient ancestral African, Nubian, Cushion, Kemetu, we're speaking of the entire length of the Nile Valley. We're speaking of the entire length and breadth of what in ancestral times was referred to Hapi. And those that remember Hapi were recognizing water, recognizing water bearers, were recognizing those that respect water as life. And that would go from the beginning of what persons, like one of my teachers, my godparent, and Dr. Yosef Ben Yakanan guided us to really learn.
You knew Dr. Yosef?
That was my Baba.
Oh, wow.
That was one of my early teachers that guided me to make sure that I stayed on top of this journey.
Serious.
Yeah.
Published many seminal works. And lectured across the world.
The world.
Yeah.
And had very humble, he was brought up in St. Croix.
Really?
Right in the valley.
Okay.
There's a whole, we call them the ethnic group of Johannesses, that are still dwelling in La Valley, Estate La Valley, in the north side of St. Croix. And so very humble beginnings, and these types of relationships that even persons like him had with persons like Arturo Schomburg, these persons that were influenced by persons like Hubert Harrison, Edward Wilmer Blyden. I mean, it's from very common spaces in St. Croix, Puerto Rico, St. Thomas, the Rothschild Francis. These were the persons that influenced some of the teachers for many of us. And Dr. Ben lived long enough to be able to come. We hosted him for several lectures here, and for him to be able to share his knowledge, his skills, talents, and expertise brought forth by many of us. Many of us were either, many brothers went through their initiation within that 360-degree system. And it wasn't persons may use the term lodge. Our ancestral ancient African Nubian, Christian, Kemetu heritage legacy, it's an actual science, it's a system, it's institution, it's initiation, it's tradition. And it's grounded in many of the same principles, those principles that are grounded in Rastafari. In terms of how we deal with our identity, our liberty, and not Rastafarianism. I want to make sure I highlight that in terms of the ism component of people trying to compartmentalize the essential ancestry. You cannot, of Rastafari. And this is not like a deviation from the teachings of His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I, or those very feminine, very guarded, very sacred and subtle traditions of Her Imperial Majesty.
I'm glad you highlighted that. We're going to get into that. Why is Haile Selassie worthy to be praised from someone of great academic esteem, gone through different schools of thought? What about the emperor? That draws you to give him that exalted position?
My ancestral guides have guided me in that vibration. When I'm in prayer, when I'm in reflection, even when I think I'm going to resist, which in the left and the academic setting, you're going to be like, you want to use rhetoric, grammar, intellectual analysis, and think everything is tangible, man. Spirit is only to a certain section. No, it doesn't go so. It doesn't go so. So there's so many examples in terms of how His Imperial Majesty influenced every building block of civilization and society and community and family and personal self-development and discipline. And for the way in which I was taught, he exemplified the principles of Ma'at.
Talk about that. Draw some
Okay, so
correlation. We have an academic people now.
Everybody kind of, I don't know. Academic sort of. Because sometimes they say that I what is it? I've gone maverick. Yeah. Because sometimes I pull away.
To the mystic.
Yeah.
Because you're trying with the mystic, but I think that's what makes it so valuable.
Okay, thanks.
You know what I mean? Because you're on a high level, but you're also grounded.
Yeah,
so the balance, I think, represents His Majesty.
Yeah, thanks. And that's part of, when you ask that question, it makes me, well, two things. I'm grateful for the question because it allows me to elaborate on what my individual experience has been. And that's each time that I would think that Rastafari may be limiting in what I navigate on the earth plane, I can reflect on different examples. Because I've been involved in education, I admire and respect, it's a reverent respect for His Imperial Majesty for seeing education is so important.
Yes.
Rastafari. Black woman, I say your heart is so golden. I know you were chosen. This world cold, but your heart never frozen. Anyway then, black woman, I wanna see you smile again. Wanna see you walk beside the Nile again. Wanna see you raise the African child again. I wanna see you living in style again. Then, black woman, I wanna see you rise again. Take time, look in your eyes again. One touch, nature rise again. Black woman, don't be surprised again. Then, black woman, look how she work and slave. Right by my side down in a this slave trade. History can record the sacrifice she made. Reparation can match all the price she paid. She now go live like no mice that freed. So I and I the lion of is strong and brave. She says she love the way the King of Kings I praise. Plus me no trim nor shave. Anyways, well then, black woman, I wanna see you smile again. Wanna see you walk beside the Nile again. Wanna see you raise the African child again. I wanna see you living in style again. Then, black woman, I wanna see you rise again. Take time, look in your eyes again. One touch, nature rise again. Black woman, don't be surprised again. Then, black woman, I know he hurt you bad. You go with your mother, never know you're dead. Your boyfriend will beat you anytime he mad. Plus you not get no joy from the job she have. But she not go say coffee, no life that's sad. Work too hard, feel no happy and glad. She search for your man, we got a righteous strat. She find a man with a red, gold and green flag who never brag. Black woman, I wanna see you smile again. Wanna see you walk beside the Nile again. Wanna see you raise the African child again. I wanna see you living in style again. Then, black woman, I wanna see you rise again. Take time, look in your eyes again. One touch, nature rise again. Black woman, don't be surprised again. Then, you're always welcome to come home. She's searching for a love is real, and she don't wanna be alone. She says she wanna love that she can feel. David offspring's on the throne, and I know that he loosed the seventh seal. Babylon, they're falling down. That is just what the prophecy revealed.